The NBA season is right around the corner. Another season of Washington Wizards basketball is here. Great to sit down with GM Will Dawkins. Will, always appreciate your time.
No, likewise.
Before we dive into this, so I wasn't at the media game.
Okay.
And I have some sources, as a reporter.
You've done your work.
And I was curious, like, who was the star in the media game? This guy. They said he's a baller. They said they said he's got some handle. So let's hear it.
I'm a facilitator at this point.
Heard you
I don't know if I
game.
can finish, but I was just happy we won. Last year we took the L, so I'm not in the best shape, so I came out the gate strong and then kind of pulled myself out after that point. Got to be safe. I'm getting older.
I like that. Good. Well, here we are.
You have to play next year, by the way.
I don't want to pull a hamstring, bro.
That's the reason why I pulled myself out too, but we need you out there.
Dude, I'd pop an Achilles in a second. I know.
We're not going to put that in the atmosphere.
I'd stay out on the perimeter and hit the three for you.
There we go. Play on the same team.
I like that. Spot shooter. So yeah, we're here. New season. You had your press conference earlier.
Yes.
The buzzword kind of excitement. Let's dive into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Why are you excited for this upcoming year?
Yeah, I think last year we did our best to make decisions in a quick amount of time. We got here in June and had 2-3 weeks before we had to make major decisions. And when you're doing that, you're bringing back a lot of different pieces. And throughout the season, we were able to assess and figure out where do we really want to take this thing. Both Michael and myself sat down and said, what's the vision for the culture? What's the fabric that we want to bring in? And then we were intentional in doing that in the draft, finding those type of guys, doing that in free agency, bringing in those type of veterans that are going to help cultivate that, but also hiring a brand new coaching staff and bringing in Brian Keefe and his type of players, his type of people, his type of coaches. Like, the environment feels a little different. So again, it's not excited for the outcomes. It's more excited for like how we're building this thing. It feels more organic.
So this has been a rebooting process when you and Michael took over. So what phase are we at as we, climb the ladder?
Yeah, I think I'd break it down into 4 phases. The first is you come in, you assess, and then deconstruct what you have. Then you kind of lay that foundation, build it back up, and then fortify what you build. And we're still deconstructing and laying the bricks, to be honest, towards that foundational path. But I think we added some good bricks in the draft.
To counter that, fans, we're an immediate society where they want wins. They want wins. They want, contending for a playoff. Yeah. How do you find that balance of, appeasing the fan base, showing the improvements, but also sticking to your vision and plan?
I think our fans are very smart. It's a basketball community, so they understand what we're trying to do. We try to be transparent in everything we do. Like, it's going to take some time, but we want to build this thing the right way. In order to do that, it's sustained success. We don't want to just jump in 1 year, 2 years, be out of the playoffs. We want to build a run. In order to do that, it's going to take some time. But again, they're going to see glimpses to be excited about. They're going to see wow plays from players, both good and bad, but like, celebrate where we're at. Try to see the trajectory of where these players can get to. They're 19, 20 years old. 5 years from now, they're going to be hitting their prime all at the same time and be able to grow together. And that's the exciting part for us. And when I say that, I can see those small wins every single day, and eventually those are going to be more consistent and what we're counting on.
From the growth aspect of when the season ended to where we are now, getting ready for the new season, what I enjoyed hearing you talk about in your press conference is the cohesion of a player hosting a group in this month, another player hosting another group this month. Explain how that makes you hopeful it'll pay dividends during the season.
Yeah, again, like last year, everything just felt rushed, and we didn't feel like we knew each other well enough. We really poured into player development, and a lot of guys checked those boxes. But as a team, we didn't hit enough team goals. And we were like, how do we address that in the offseason? 1, through hard work. The guys were here all month, crushing it. But 2, through just being a more connected group. Like, you feel more of a brotherhood, and you want to pass to that person. You want to make that extra play. You want to show up and do more things for them. And for us, the guys addressed that right away. All of our young guys were back in May. Kyle hosted all of his guys in Miami in June. Pretty much the entire team showed up in Vegas, and we got some good work in there. And then Jordan brought everybody to California in August, and everyone's been back here since Labor Day. So for us, it's been like, hey guys, we know we got a lot of work to do. Let's get together, be on the same page, because that'll make it a little easier. It's still going to be hard, but if we're in it together, it's going to make it a little easier.
I like the makeup of this roster because you have some veteran guys.
Yeah.
You have some young pieces, and then also you have some newcomers.
Yeah.
Let's dive into the newcomers a little bit. Valchunas, Brogdon, veteran guys that can help cultivate those younger players.
No disrespect to the veterans we had last year at all, but those are a little older players. These guys are still in their prime, and Valanciunas is going to bring a competitiveness, a leadership, an international fabric that we have with our international young players. Toughen them up every day in practice, but also we were really bad on the glass. We were bad defensively.
He's a good rebounder.
He's a good rebounder. He cleaned some of that stuff up. Malcolm Brogdon didn't have size on the front line, or in our point guards, our two guards. We lacked some size there. We drafted size, but Malcolm also brings that and brings the experience. And both guys care about winning and have won at different levels. And they're like, hey, let me help grow this thing to where it needs to get to. And I'm pretty excited for those guys, just seeing how they've intertwined with our young players already.
You explained kind of the developmental process, the growth development of the players. You have a Kuzma, you have a Poole, established players. How do you see them fitting in and growing as well?
Yeah, I think they're going to be more comfortable playing with each other, but more so just comfortable playing in the system that Brian Keefe has spent the summer trying to cultivate, to where it's more free-flowing, more ball movement, more player movement. But I think our young guys are going to help them out too. It's not just going to go one way or the other, because they're naturally unselfish. They naturally want to make the right play. They want to get up and down. And we have more pace, more youth, more athleticism than we had last year. So I think that benefits Kyle and Jordan.
Rookie year's always challenging for a player. I mean, you're just like, your head's on a swivel. Bilal Coulibaly, he showed glimpses toward the end of last year of what he can be, that lockdown defender. He got a great experience in Paris playing in the Olympics. What type of jump are you expecting from a Bilal Coulibaly this year?
Again, I don't know how big of a jump it'll be right away, but I know he's going to take one. Just from physically, when you see him, he's a little better. He's much better. Just mentally, he's got a little bit more confidence. This time last year, he was trying to make sure he knew English and could find his way to the gym. He just got his license last week. So this is a young guy trying to figure everything out. And again, we know how much better he's going to be 5, 6, 7 years down the line, and he's still going to play for the next 10 years after that. So for us, take that jump mentally and approach every single day like I'm going to lock down the guy in front of me, but also be a better team defender. But offensively, I think he'll surprise guys by the end of the season as well, just getting back to putting him on the ball. If he didn't get injured those last 15 games, he probably would have played more on ball for us, so we'll get back to that too.
A couple of rookies, you're busy in the NBA draft, know, the Alex Sars, the Bub Carringtons. A lot of excitement around those rookies, and especially, I thought Bub really flashed during those rookie games in Vegas. Tell me about this rookie group.
Yeah, I think Las Vegas Summer League is just a data point. That's really all it is for all three of our players. I think guys had some good games, some positive games, but what they learned and how they grew from that through the rest of the summer is kind of the reason why I'm exciting. But Sar is a talented player. Defensively, you'll probably see it more so than offensively to start the year, but his approach, his ability to switch, guard, defend, protect the rim, offensively make plays with the ball, get to his spots. And then Bub's just a competitor, a Baltimore kid that brings a toughness, a fire. He's going to play on both ends. I think he's become more athletic and learned how to use his athleticism a little bit more now that the floor is going to be more spaced open. And I think Key might take some time, but I think people should pay attention to Keyshawn as well. He's a big wing, a big playmaker who makes shots that we saw in Summer League, but he also can make plays and make decisions. So again, those guys are going to have some ups and downs. They're going to be way better down the line than they are right now, but there's going to be some moments that catch the fan eye and be like, okay, I get it.
You spoke about Bilal finally getting settled.
Yeah.
Coach Keefe, he's getting settled now. He was kind of thrown into the fire midway through the year. What have you seen from Coach Keefe since he's taken over from now, from previous to now, that's impressed you? What stood out to you so far about Coach Keefe?
He's a connector of people. And I knew that about him because I'd worked with him previously, but just as the lead, seeing that. And he hasn't lost his assistant coach principles. Like just last night, he's 1-on-0 at 7 o'clock at night working with a player. He's not going to lose that part about him, but he's also going to make sure he brings the whole group with him. He's done a really good job of adding to his staff in terms of thinking outside the box, making what pairs well with him, but pairs with each other. And they all have player development backgrounds. They're all innovative, and they all really know how to build meaningful relationships. In the phase we're at, that's really important. But Brian's an everyday guy who's going to hold those standards, hold the line, and treat everybody the same. But he's really connected with our guys from last year, but also the rookies. That's impressive.
In this early part of the season, the GM role, what are you looking at? What are you observing? Like, what do you look for during kind of this phase of the season?
A lot, to be honest. I want to see what type of shape the guys are in. I want to see the attitude they've come back with. Individual improvements, like we gave you focuses. Did you spend a lot of time on that? Where did you add to your game, and how's that going to be more so important, additive to the group? And then just go behind the curtain, see how they're doing as people. We have some decisions that we have to make, some roster decisions that we have to make by the end of camp, and we don't want to rush those. We want to see how camp goes, how preseason goes, but it's all about the environment, protecting our environment and showing up every single day. And by that I mean the right approach from the staff, being there for each other as players and making the other team know that they played the Wizards that night. And for me, can we establish that day one in training camp is what I'm really looking most forward to.
You've heard the phrase a player's coach, so I'm going to turn it. What would be a player's GM? Like, how do you give the kid a pat on the back, but also kick him in the butt a little bit and say smarten up? So how do you find that balance, and how do you kind of relate to the players?
I'm still trying to figure out everything that goes into it. Like, it's year 2 for me being in this specific role, but I was very blessed and fortunate to have great mentors and leaders who showed me the way in Rich Tro, Troy Weaver, Michael Winger, and obviously Sam Presti. Like, those guys did it, and they all had their own way. They all allowed me in my other spaces to connect with players, so I can only be myself, I can only be authentic, and I'm pretty transparent, but I try to keep it real with them. Let them know they can reach out to me whenever they want. I'm going to be the person that calls you on it, but I'm also going to be the person that supports you. And they know they're going to get that from me every single day. And from what they tell me, they appreciate that. So I can be a little bit of a jokester, so I think they appreciate that too.
This is your favorite question every year before the season.
Here we go.
Expectations.
I knew it was coming.
What does success look like, Will? What at the end of the year, give me some buzzwords. What's this team going to look like?
Yeah, I don't know if I have the buzzwords.
Okay.
I don't know if I have those, but the expectations will be to make sure that we're better, individually and as a team, and make sure that we can see what the future looks like because guys have taken those strides. Young players are playing more by the end of the season. You see a confidence, you see a connectedness, and the fans have something they can cheer for. Every single night they know we're going to compete, but they also know we're going to be in the community supporting them. So for me, success, getting through the season healthy, getting through the season with those highs and lows, but knowing that those development goals that were red to start are green for our team by the end of the season. For me, that's success.
And your message to the fans, what do you want to tell everybody out there?
Stay with us. Stay with us. There's a plan in place. We're intentional in doing this. Celebrate those small wins. Celebrate those small gains that you see for the player. And know that we're building this to be something that will sustain over a long period of time. And you're starting to get more and more players that you can cheer for and feel confident about having in the community and going to the games at night, watching on TV, knowing they're supporting the city the right way.
All right, Will Dawkins, always appreciate you.
Thank you.